Hello, Facebook friends. Really excited to present to you guys today. I'm actually going to cover a couple of notes. Like I just spent an hour with my business mentor covering a couple of things, and we covered some really important things that I think is super going to resonate with everyone who gets a chance to watch this call live or maybe on replay. So, if you're watching along, please let me know. Love to, hear from you guys and make sure everything's going all good. And as you guys know, I do mentoring with a guy named Charlie Ballas. Guy's absolutely changed my life. Pretty sure he's full, so unsure if you could do coaching with him, but he's absolutely amazing. He's really one of the hidden gems of business mentors around the world. He's truly the very best in the world. He's helped my business hit 7 figures, helped two of my friends hit 7 figures, works with some of the biggest and best people in the world with their business growth. And I want to share with you a couple of things we covered. So guys, firstly in your business is managing turbulence and kind of embracing the unexpected. So, it kind of reminds me a lot of back when I was kind of growing the gyms, of when we put a manager in place, right, in our gyms, and we had a lot of turbulence and a lot of issues on that. But it's kind of just expecting that when you make, big changes in the business, that might be you outsourcing yourself from sessions or putting a manager in place, is to really just embrace that for the next 3 months and know that if you bring someone on in the business at the start, they're not going to hit it out of the park from day one, right? It's pretty much impossible for anyone to do that. But we covered a lot about, expecting and embracing the unexpected that's going to happen, and really making sure that the new team that we're bringing on, that we're really there to support them and mentor and guide them through the whole entire process. We covered a little bit on business growth, right? Who doesn't want to, grow their business, lots of new members and things like that. And that's kind of like how I'm very built, right? To really focus on growth all the time and, focus on my clients a lot. But Charlie presented a really good question that made me think a lot, which was, if you didn't lose anyone in your business, right? You didn't lose anyone, you didn't sign anyone up, what would the health of the business be? Because at the moment, we're talking a lot about in the company that I'm building about sustainability. So, it's better to make $400K a year over the next 10 years than to make $1 million this year and then completely fall off the planet, right? So we're talking about that sustainable business growth where you're around for a long time. It's really consistent. Everything's kind of working on autopilot. And it just kind of really made me think, because we're lucky in the fitness industry with our, fortnightly recurring revenue or monthly recurring revenue. But I want you to have a think about your business, especially if you're at, a reasonable stage, you're covering all expenses, taking good profit home and things like that, about, what would happen if you didn't sign anyone up and if you didn't lose anyone within your business. What would your cash flow forecasting look like? And this happens a lot in business where they have to grow, right, to survive and to make profit, right? And it happens a lot in businesses, and it can be a really damaging part of any business, where if you have to bring on, it's kind of like a weird Ponzi scheme where you've got to bring new people in to make all your payments for the month and things like that. But I know that doesn't happen too much in the fitness industry, because we're all on that monthly recurring revenue and things like that. And then we also talked about stabilizing bookings. And it was funny because I did some private mentoring with some guys before I talked to Charlie. And we're talking very deeply about the quality of bookings, right? It's better to get 15 high quality bookings every week than 45 ones that are, not a good fit for the program, don't know much about you and things like that. And I want you to have a think about that in your marketing is, what's the quality of your leads? So, when you're looking at the quality of your leads in a fitness business, I want to make it relevant to you guys, is, you've got your personal network and referrals that are usually the highest quality, right? Then you've got your website, Google Ads, people actively searching and hunting you out, right? Which is on the next level. Then you've got your Facebook ads and things like that, where you're reaching out to people, because the quality of those leads, because it's pattern interrupt marketing, isn't as high as a referral or, one of your friends and family coming in, right? Hope that kind of makes sense to everyone. But within a business, what people will get so obsessed with, and I must say here, guys, me included as well, is, focusing on the amount of bookings that they get per week and not focusing on the quality. How can you get, 10, 15, 20 really good quality leads every single week, right? That are coming in, they're a really great fit for your program. They're ready to rock and roll, right? Because that will increase the average lifetime value of all of your clients because you're selling the right people into them as well. And Charlie, one of the great things about him, and it's definitely rubbed off on me and especially everyone in our programs, is tracking of data. I kind of shared with you a story on a podcast that I did about how I first came into contact with Charlie because we actually lost 50 members and we weren't tracking KPIs. So we just talked about like tracking sales data really heavily, like tracking like to a level of, you know, the booking, where the booking came from, what platform, what ad, what happened with that booking, what's the average lifetime value of that booking over the first 90 days, over the next 180 days and onwards. And as like, guys, if you're watching this and you're just, you know, in your fitness business, just starting, you don't need really hectically advanced tracking like I just said, but you do need some basic levels of tracking so you understand, you know, what's happening in your business and the health of your business. And then guys, as you get bigger, if you hit, you know, high 6 figures, 7 figures, 100%, because there's more at play and you're getting more lead sources, is 100% you need more advanced tracking. But I want you to guys to make sure every week that you're doing your business KPIs at a minimum. And just send me a message on any of my social platforms if you're unsure how to do that, and I can send you across some like really basic stuff on that as well. And then we kind of like just finished off on sustainable growth of a business. And this is fucking like out of this world insane. I talked to one person today who, you know, generated like 180 leads from a campaign, went into overwhelm, had anxiety for, you know, 5 days, couldn't handle it, right? Which I totally get, because you guys are bombarded every single day. You know, fucking, we promise you 100K in the next 90 days. We promise you this amount of leads. We promise you this, like, you know, sign 50 members in 30 days and all that kind of bullshit stuff that you think you want. These people aren't marketing it to you because it doesn't work. It clearly works, but I want you to set up a business that's sustainable, right? I want you to set up a business that we can go every week, we clock in, we clock out with +2, +3 members, right? You start your business today, in a year's time, you have 104 extra members or maybe 150. Because as much as you want it, right? As much as it's super sexy to say anyone on this live of going, hey, you know, I'll get you 50 clients in 30 days. That's not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable. You actually leverage everything out of your ad spend, everything out of your, you know, sales mechanisms. Your team get bled, they get overworked massively, where it's not sustainable. And one of the things I love most about Charlie, he's all about sustainability and running a business for the long term, and not just like, you know, let's add 50 clients in a month and like see what happens, right? And the way I want to look at it, and I talk to you guys a lot about this, and obviously a lot of what Charlie says rubs off on me. But how sustainable is your business? Can you consistently add 1 member a week over the next year? If the answer is yes, and you can do that, go to 2 members a week, because that's going to give you 104 extra members. You're watching this video today. We work together. You add 2 members a week over the next year, you have 104 extra members. Because I'm telling you, adding that 50, 60, 70 members in a month, right? Whilst there's a certain type of person who can do it, right? And it doesn't, you know, massively affect them. It does put an amazing amount of stress and strain on your business, because every person you sign, there's obviously admin, there's training, there's classes, there's onboarding, there's that ongoing retention, and it just stresses the absolute shit out of your systems in your business, right? And causes people to go into overwhelm. It causes gym owners to feel like they're fucking failures when they're not, because, hey, you didn't add 90 clients in 30 days. Who cares about that, right? No one cares what you achieve in 30 days. Let's tally up your business, right? And start to think, what can you achieve in 2, 3, and 4 years? You add 2 members a week for 4 years, that's 400 extra members that you add. That's plus 400. You might have moved to a new location. You have your 250 square meter place. You need a, 500 meter square facility just to get that really, really nice sustainable growth. And I want you guys to think especially about that sustainable growth, like incredibly deeply, and go, is the marketing messaging that like people are pushing you in, like all of these ads and things like that, where it's like add 50 clients in 30 days, sometimes it just makes you feel like a failure, right? It makes you feel like you're not good enough and that your gym's not growing fast enough. But I want you to think differently. I want you to think differently to every person who wants like Tom Brady to rock up in their life, throw a fucking Hail Mary and save your business with 90 clients in 30 days. And think, I'm going to add 2 members every single week. For the next year, I'm going to be plus 104 members. And I'm going to do that consistently over the next 2 years. And you'll have an absolutely unstoppable fitness business, because let's face it, if every person watching this call, every person in the gyms just grew by 2 members a week, right? The average gym owner wouldn't even have like 100 members, right? So you would literally double or 1.5x your business, right, in a year by just having those sustainable, nice, healthy patterns where you're focusing on consistent growth in your business rather than that Hail Mary play, right? So guys, I hope you got a bit of value from that. I always absolutely love our chats, my chats with Charlie. He's helped me incredibly. He's really changed my psyche as a business owner, the way that I think, what I focus on growth, on sustainability, on making money in the long run, not just in the next month. And I wanted to share with you a couple of thoughts because I get massive value on it, and I love you guys who are watching, and I'm sure you got a bit of value from it too. So guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, please reach out to me absolutely anytime on social media. Love to chat with you guys.